happened again. You put hours and hours into that article or script or book or whatever it is you've been working on, and for what? Just another rejection. Email rejections are the worst. Even the ones that try to address you individually and be encouraging still are not fun to receive, ever. So, your writing got rejected. Let's just say hypothetically, you don't want to give up. You're past the point of, I'm not good at this, I don't want to do it anymore. You want to publish something. And you know that you'll never do that if you don't try again. But you just failed. Maybe for the first time, maybe for the 10th time. What happens now? As someone who has both received and sent many rejections, just like the one that you just got or will likely get in the future, trust me. I know you're watching this video because you're just sitting at your computer going, oh, what do I do? Do I delete the whole thing and start over? Do I take a red pen to my manuscript or whatever the digital equivalent of a red pen might be? Maybe yes, maybe no. Actually, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. The first step might involve crying, but at least we're starting somewhere. Before you do anything else, take a step back, breathe, walk away from your computer, pet a dog or something. Rejection sucks. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. It is okay to have feelings. You need time, a little bit of time, to collect yourself. This is not an immediate thing you need to deal with. You do need to deal with it, but first, wallow. It is okay to wallow. Wallow as you will. And then it's time to try again. The first thing you need to do is figure out what went wrong. This is usually a lot easier said than done, but occasionally an editor will write back to you and tell you exactly what you need to do better. This doesn't always happen, but when I respond to pitch emails as an editor rejecting someone whose piece I am not going to publish, I try to generally say something like this. Dear writer, thanks for submitting your article for review. While your content is well researched and written expertly, it doesn't exactly fit the style and scope of topics our audience is looking for. Feel free to browse our site's collection of published articles to get a better feel for the content we're hoping to share with our audience. Feel free to submit an article for review anytime. That's just a simplified example, but you get the idea. Not everyone's going to write back to you that nicely, but maybe it could happen. Next, you need to figure out how to do better. Now, if the person writing back to you is as nice as I am, then this will be pretty easy. Go into the archives of whatever publication you're trying to get published in or work with and read through their content. Look at the types of headlines and the style and everything that displays exactly the kind of work that an editor or a publisher is going to accept. If your article, let's say, doesn't match up with those things exactly, then that's likely why you didn't get picked, and more closely following that style or that format or the way of presenting information or whatever it is that you're submitting to, the more chances you have of actually getting published in that magazine or journal or whatever it may be. There's a lot of different things that this could apply to, so just apply it to whatever it is you're trying to not get rejected from again. If the articles you submitted doesn't fit the criteria of what you're seeing on a website, for example, you have a few options. You can tweak the article that you already have to make it better fit that publication and try submitting it again, but what you might have to do is just write something new that is better suited for that publication. It's not necessarily a problem that you're submitting the same thing twice if it's different, but you probably have a better chance if you start over and try something new. Or you can take that same article, tweak it a little bit, and shop it around somewhere else. Don't get too obsessed with this. Don't try to drag the same article around everywhere, hoping that someone will change their mind and publish it. Sometimes there's just something wrong with an article and it can't be fixed. You have to start over. Starting over is not the end of the world. In fact, creating a second draft from scratch is probably your best bet if you really need to just get it done and don't need to be distracted by what you've written before. If you're feeling brave You can write back to the editor or intern or whoever responded to you, even if it's like one of those form emails that clearly was not addressed to you individually. You can ask them politely once what you might be able to do to have a better chance of getting your article accepted the next time. Don't harass them, please. Don't do this more than once if they don't respond to you. And don't kind of create a chain of dialogue that clearly they're not interested in keeping up just because you want all the attention and all the answers. Let them know that you're really interested in working with them and kind of just say, hey, I'm curious as to what I might be able to do to have a better chance at this. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a few sentences. If they want to respond and give you some feedback, they can, and if they don't want to, they won't, and that's not the end of the world either, but it doesn't hurt to try. You don't have to do this. It's not guaranteed that it's going to help you succeed in any way, but if you're feeling brave, give it a try. Write, revise, repeat. You can't take a first draft or even a second or third draft and just keep bringing it to different publishers without changing anything. You can rewrite. Rewrites are okay. Rewrites are part of the process. A draft, even if you don't end up using that draft or submitting that draft, is not a waste of time. So as long as you keep trying different things until you kind of get the hang of it and kind of understand this is what this publisher is looking for, this is what this magazine wants, then it's definitely worth your time. No matter how many times you have to rewrite something or write something from a variety of angles on the same topic, don't quit. Here's the thing. You're going to write a lot of things throughout your lifetime that never get read. So you need to keep trying to write new things until you can write something that will. Rewriting is not the only thing you have to do though. You have to keep pitching. And I know that's scary, and I know that getting rejected makes you feel like it's not worth it. But here's the thing. Most of the pitches that you send out you're not even going to get a response. But let's say that you send out 10 pitch emails. Likely one of those is going to get a response. The more that you send, and mind you, they have to be of good quality, but the more that you send, the more chances you have of getting a response. So if you send 10 and you get one, well, think of what would have happened if you would have stopped after 1 or 2 or 5 or 8. Keep pitching. It's scary. It never stops being scary. I still hold my breath every time I hit the send button, but you learn to kind of build a shell around yourself and kind of contain that fear and kind of just push past it and do it anyway. So the more that you do it, the more confident you're going to be. That's really important, is to actually be confident. And you can't have confidence if you don't try and you don't get experience. The last but most important thing to remember is that you are not your work. Whether or not your writing gets accepted or rejected is not a measure of how worthy you are, how good of a writer you are. It's your work that's getting rejected, not you. It's really easy to kind of lump the two together and say, oh, my writing got rejected, so I feel rejected and I feel like I'm not good at this. There has to be a separation. This piece of writing that I took the time to write is not successful, is not meeting expectations, is not working. But that doesn't mean that I am a failure. I can keep doing this. I should keep going, and I want to keep trying. So to wrap up, give yourself some time to breathe and wallow and be sad and then get back to work. Repetition can get boring. It can feel like it's not worth it, but trust me, it is. Success in writing in anything is an active verb. It won't happen if you don't do something.